Yes, having fun in studio. You're listening to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. This is the kind of show where you can gain valuable insight and a better understanding of life and leadership distinctions to help you access your full potential and become more effective in all areas of your life. And today we're talking about success. And joining me in studio today on the board is Mr. Bryce Thomas. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And my lovely co-host, Wendy Amara. Good
Hello.
afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon.
And we also have a good friend of ours, Mr. Bradley Sighting-Glance. How are you, Bradley?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for joining us today. You know, I got I like to call you guys the young guns.
There we go.
Young perspective, young adults doing some big things in your life. But I'd like to pick your brains and start a discussion about success. What does success mean to you?
You know, that's very interesting because I think so many people have different ideas of it. So me as an individual, I listen to a lot of personal development tapes. I listen to a lot of success coaching from different people that have been successful, specifically entrepreneurs. And one of my favorite mentors I like to listen to is Earl Nightingale. And so he says success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So anybody chasing their own individual dream, that school teacher that wanted to be a school teacher, she's having success. That guy who runs the corner gas station, who wanted to run a corner gas station, he's the successful individual. So for me personally, if my goal is to do something in life, if my goal was to be a professional athlete and I'm working toward that and I'm soon on the cusp of being that, I would consider myself a success. So I think it has to do with goals, in my opinion. You know, it's not just, oh, I'm going to make 50 grand this year. I don't think that's so much.
But that could be a goal, can it?
It could be a goal if that is someone's individual goal. So I don't think it's, let's say, you know, a vice president of Morgan Stanley is making 150 grand a year. You know, that might not be success in his eyes because that might just happen because he's in a corporate position. But so I think it depends on the goal of that individual. That would be my perspective, though.
So for you, you're saying that following your dreams or
Exactly.
following the goals that you have set out and have intended to create.
Right.
And is it more the journey, you think, than the actual getting to the result?
I think the journey is just as important, if not more. But if someone is so fixated on a goal and they're so driven to reach that goal, they're most likely going to hit it. You know, I look at you, for example, and your goal to be a great father, to be a great mentor, to coach kids, to be involved in a center that changes an entire community. I consider you a huge success because that's what your goals respectively are and your dreams are. And so the journey, since I've known you for, you know, the respective 10 months I have, that journey's been incredible since I've known you. What you've gone through, you know, as an individual and as a mentor in Santa Clarita has been phenomenal. So your journey to success has led you to where you are, which is, you know, essentially only a stopping point and where you continue to go.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, there's also the question, and I want this discussion to open up questions, to be in the question, and really to, if you're listening, I want you to check in with yourself and ask yourself these same questions and really discover. But, you know, I could be in my journey and I can still not be present and in the moment and experiencing the journey, so to speak.
Absolutely.
I could be focused on just getting the goal and dismissing every little thing that's happening, every little blessing that could be perceived as blessings.
Right.
I could be looking at them as mistakes or failures and getting
Problems.
upset, right?
Yeah.
And just trying to figure out how to overcome it just kind of unconsciously. And just once I got to the goal, now I feel this rush and excitement and going, okay, great, now what's next? But really been missing the smelling of the flowers along the journey.
Right.
Right.
And in that moment, you don't really feel successful. So even though you're working towards your goal, and like Bradley was saying, you know, you're on a journey towards the goal and you're getting closer to your goal, in that moment, it might not necessarily feel like you are, and you might not feel successful.
Yeah, so is success the journey or is it the destination?
Well, I think it's a lot of different areas. Just, you know, Bradley and I, you know, read the same, you know, kind of stuff. We have the same kind of outlook on, you know, what success would be. And I've read a lot of Dale Carnegie, you know, a lot of Earl Nightingale. I've read a lot of Bob Proctor, and all of them are kind of saying the same thing. But for me, success is very subjective and can be applied to all areas of your life. So that's the relationships you have in your life. You know, that's the things you're currently doing, the things that are leading you to the path that you want to take. It's all about the climb. A lot of people are focused about getting to the top of the mountain and being up there and not experiencing the journey that is along the way. And I feel like in my life, I'm working towards a lot of goals, but at this moment, I feel more successful than I ever have in my life because I've come so far. And I take the time to actually recognize and be grateful for the things that I've actually accomplished in my life. Even if they might not seem big to someone else, they seem big to me.
Right, because I'm completely in agreement with Bryce. As he mentioned, we do read a lot of the same material. And so if everything, let's say, were to happen on your time, on your own account, and you didn't encounter any of those obstacles, what kind of character would you have if everything happened when you wanted it to happen? So the journey is what ultimately makes you a successful father, because you go through those learning experiences. Granted, I haven't been a dad, but I imagine the obstacles that any father amounts to, any mother, that has those obstacles with her children, that's what makes her a successful mother one day, is learning from that. Because if he or she respectively doesn't grow from a situation that possibly was negative, they just experience it, move on with it, and go, okay, I got my kid to 13 years of age, respectively, whatever it is, but nothing changes through that process, then I think, in my opinion, that might be where a fine line comes, as just going through the motions and being unconscious, or altering, changing, taking a look back from everything. So
sounds good. When we come back from the break, I'm going to switch the tables, and we're going to put the question. I'm actually going to put you in the hot seat, Wendy.
All right. I like that. You're listening to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
Why do I call it a funny bone?
Why can't penguins fly?
Like to see something. Can we go to the moon on vacation?
If you think it's tough answering these questions, imagine the ones you'll get if your child is diagnosed with cancer. CureSearch.org can help. It's run by doctors and scientists whose research has led to an overall cure rate of 78%. You're not as alone as you feel.
Hi, I am Cesar Milan with Junior. In Santa Clarita, we love our dogs. And in our role as pack leaders, it is important that we do everything to keep our pets safe and healthy. This is why it is so important to license your dog through Los Angeles County Animal Control. Licensing your dog will make it possible for them to be returned to you in case they get lost or stolen. You will also get important reminders when your dogs are due for vaccination. Show your dog you care and license them today.
Welcome back to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina, right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Today we are talking about success, and we had both Bryce and Bradley share their unique perspective about success. I thought that was pretty enlightening, and in your early 20s, you're getting a clearer and clearer version of what success means to you. And I'm sure it's going to keep changing, and because you're always reinventing yourself. You're always figuring out who you are in each new moment. And I'm excited for the both of you guys, because you guys are getting clearer and clearer about what's important to you and what really matters. The one thing I wanted to ask, I want to turn the tables over to Wendy.
Sure.
Wendy, and ask you that question. What does success mean to you?
Success means to me being in alignment with my purpose. Yeah, and my purpose, I mean all areas of my life. So my purpose as a mother, my purpose as a wife, my purpose as a daughter, my purpose as an entrepreneur, my purpose as a coach, my purpose as a friend. And kind of in each of these areas of my life, I have a vision for myself. I want to be a loving, committed mother who's there. That's my vision for me as a mom. And so I stand back and I look at, am I in alignment with that? Meaning, am I living my life daily based on that vision? Or am I not in alignment with that? And it changes moment to moment, to be honest. There's some times where, I'm completely in alignment with my vision of myself as a coach, that I want to empower women and men on a daily basis. And sometimes I'm doing that every day and sometimes I'm not. And it changes sometimes hour to hour. So success for me is to be in alignment, keyword being in alignment. And I say it from that place as opposed to saying it from a place of, well, success to me is when I get into alignment with, like, it's not something in the future that's outside of me, but it's something that is present with me right now. So there are moments where I'm more successful than other moments. Yeah, but that's how I define it. It's similar to what you guys were talking about, Bradley and Bryce, about it being subjective, you know, Bryce, because it's based on what I define as aligned with my purpose and aligned with my vision. And so for some people, you know, alignment could just be that they want to be loving, that they're committed to being loving, and that to them is successful, to being loving and receiving love, to being open to receiving love. So everyone has different definitions of what, you know, success is. For me, it's not tied to a particular monetary amount specifically, but I know if I'm living my purpose, see, here's where it's key. I know if I'm living my purpose, the monetary compensation is going to come.
Right.
Everything that's been a huge blessing in my life has come to me when I've been in alignment with my purpose. And I can feel in my body and my soul and my mind when I'm being in alignment with my purpose. It's like you walk a little different. I don't know if you guys have experienced that when you're living your purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're walking a little bit
Well, I've been
different,
noticing
and-
you've been showing up different in the last month and a half.
Yeah.
Because you came to me a while back and said, I want to get back plugged into people and coaching and back into what I call the zone, so to speak, right?
Right.
And you're working
Not
with
the
people.
physical zone that's on Soledad Canyon, but
That's right.
The zone in your mind, that's
and
an energy.
The zone, meaning the zone of being in alignment with the purpose and the gift that you have to give and offer the world. And so you getting plugged back into the young adult workshops and working with teams and empowering people. I'm starting to see your step look a little different. You're glowing a little more. You're excited a little more. You're a little more passionate. So I'm noticing that.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And you know what? I have a lot more energy. I'm getting a lot more done. Even in areas that don't have anything directly to do with my goal. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that when you're doing, when you're more in alignment or you're doing more in terms of your health, in terms of your fitness, then your attitude is better. And that affects your money, that affects your relationships, that it all combines. It all, you know, it starts like a little ball that keeps rolling and rolling and gaining more momentum and gaining more momentum, and you gain more energy. So yeah, I found that I have more energy because I'm living on purpose, which to me is success. That's success.
Well, something I've even noticed is who you hang around and who you interact with. Because I know just even recently, you know, we started doing the young adult meetings and meeting together. You know, Wendy, you're the leader for all of us, and we're getting more clear on our goals and things that, you know, we'd like to do in our life or accomplish. And just being around that helps motivate me to get things done that I might have just been like, oh, I could work on that, you know, 2 weeks from now, or, you know, keep putting it off instead of actually working on it, because I create excuses for myself. Like, I've got work going on, I've got, you know, volunteering at the zone or doing acting classes, and becoming more clear on that and what I actually want, and having the support of the team and the people around me, I'm accomplishing a lot more.
No, I think who you hang around is important. The people that you're spending time with. And there's a classic story about the eagle that thought he or she was a chicken, right? You've read that story
Yeah,
before?
I've heard this.
One of my favorite pastors, actually. I have an audio tape, and then you read it actually during one of the trainings we actually did here at the station.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a biblical story or if it comes, you know, handed down from generation to generation, but it's, you know, the theme is that it's an eagle egg that was mixed up with the chicken eggs, and it got hatched. And it was, you know, born and raised in a chicken coop or in hen, you know, in a chicken area, and it saw itself as a chicken. It didn't know that it was a mighty eagle that belonged in the sky to spread its wings and to soar, and that it was majestic and powerful. It didn't know it was that amazing creature. It saw itself as a chicken, and so it just walked around its whole life, picking the feed off the ground and the dirt, and held its head down low. And it wasn't until an eagle flew out of the sky one day and landed on the post there in the chicken yard and started to speak to the young eagle, saying, do you know who you are? And he's like, well, yeah, I'm a chicken. And they started this dialogue, and he said, no, you're a mighty eagle. And he encouraged the young eagle that thought he was a chicken to run as fast as it could and to flap its wings. And the chicken didn't believe it.
Wow.
There was actually three. I believe there was three of them, and the first chicken believed it and the other two didn't. And, once the first one tried it and started flapping its wings, it just took off. And they couldn't convince the last chicken or eagle that thought it was a chicken to believe in that. And it remained the rest of its life living as a chicken. And so I think it's important that if you start hanging around, people that are doing just average, ordinary, or even less than, you're going to start to fit amongst them. But if you're hanging around people that are doing positive things and they're stepping outside their comfort zone and reinventing themselves, you're slowly going to start to adapt to that, and you're going to start stepping up, creating some extraordinary results.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
We're having a great conversation about success today. You're listening to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
Do you know how much water you use daily? A typical Santa Clarita Valley resident averages 270 gallons every day. You can lower your water number with simple adjustments to your outdoor watering. Replace a section of your water-guzzling grass with California-friendly plants. Reduce evaporation by watering at night or early morning. And set your sprinklers to run for 2 short cycles to avoid runoff. What's your water number?
Hello. Yes. Can I ask a few questions about the apartment on Park Street?
What was your name?
My name is Juan Hernandez.
It's been rented.
Oh, it's gone. Hello, my name is Sanjay Kumar. I am calling about the apartment on Park Street.
It's not available.
Not available?
Hello, my name is Tyrone Washington. I'm calling about the apartment on Park Street.
Just been rented.
Hello, I am Chen Lin. My name is Khalid bin Ali. I'm Tuan Vo.
Hello, my name is Moshe Goldberg.
I use a wheelchair. It's gone. Not available. All right. Thank you.
Yes, hello, my name is Graham Wellington. I'm calling about the apartment for rent on Park Street. Is that still available?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Really?
Housing discrimination is illegal. If you think you've been a victim because of your race, color, national origin, sex, religion, disability, or family status, call us. Fair housing. It's not an option. It's the law.
Hi, I'm Howie Mandel.
I'm Sally Field.
I want to introduce you to a very special place.
Lark Ranch began almost 50 years ago. It was started by a group of visionary parents who were not willing to accept institutional surroundings for their developmentally disabled children.
Lark is a unique facility with a community of individuals who are all special and contributing members not only of Lark, but of the larger community of Santa Clarita.
But they need your help to maintain this outstanding program and continue to deliver to its residents the kind of care that will help keep Lark Ranch operating for another 50 years.
Please give generously.
And let's continue the miracle of Lark.
On this beautiful day in Santa Clarita, you're listening to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. We are in studio talking to the young guns, Mr. Bradley Sight and Glance and Bryce Thomas, and my lovely co-host.
I'm kind of a young gun too. Kind of, sort of, kind of.
Saving the best for last.
We're gonna call you. We're gonna have to come up with a new name. We'll call you. We'll let you have the title of a gun.
The gun. Thank you. How about the feminine guns?
There you
From
go.
the feminine
There you
perspective
go.
here.
And my lovely co-host Wendy Amara's in studio with us, talking about success and what it means to each other.
Yes, success and what it means to each other. So I wanted to ask you, Alex, actually, with all the work that you do in empowering youth and the amount of teens and families that you've coached, how do you define success? What is success for you?
You know, success to me is being fully present in each moment and fully experiencing our experiences. When I can fully experience my experience in each new moment that comes up, rather than being in my head thinking about it, or sitting in a conversation and wondering what I'm going to do later on or when I get out of here, but just fighting the brain and learning how to shut it down so that I can be present in each new moment, for me is success. And that's what I get up every day, striving to be present more and more every day, until I have awakened my consciousness fully and I can be present in each new moment, experiencing my experiences. That's what success means to me. And the reason why I've come to that conclusion is because of some of the people, or most of the people that I've coached, a lot of the times they're goal-getters, they're overachievers, and they have super accomplishments and big financial gains. And at the end of the day, when they come to me for coaching and I ask them, well, what is it that you want now? A lot of the times it's, well, I want to be fulfilled in my relationships. And fulfilled in your relationships means you first have to be present, and you got to be in the moment, and you got to be conscious in those relationships. And when you start to get to a conscious level, you show up more in a place of gratitude.
Isn't that crazy how a lot of it boils down to our relationships and the way that's really what we want to better in our lives? And the reason we want to make all the money is so we have more time to spend with our kids, more time to spend with our partners, more time to spend it with our families. And what's tricky about it is if you focused on the relationship part and being present the way you just said, then that would grow, that would flourish. It doesn't require the going out and making, tons of money or going out and being an outward success in some way. It just requires you to get present with who you are and then be the gift that you are.
Yeah.
So in terms of being present, Alex, how do you stay present then on a consistent basis?
I fight it every day, all day long. It's a fight. It's because my brain is programmed to want to try to think of my way through things or out of things. And so I constantly have to play games with myself and learn how to shut it down. I don't know if you've ever experienced the master's course. It was a training a long time ago.
Absolutely.
And
it's still around.
It's a crazy training that taught me how to have my brain play games unconsciously with itself, like, oh, go count the pictures around the room so that I can be present in this moment and really listening from my heart with the person across from me. And so my brain would go, I mean, not literally, but does that make sense to you? Like I would literally have to just tell my brain, okay, let's shut down, let me open up my heart and really connect with this person heart to heart so that I can experience this relationship that I have with them. So it's a constant game all the time that I have to fight. And it was funny because we had a conversation with Karen, the lady that talks about sex and relationships, and remember how she was talking about how often men think about sex?
Yes.
Well, that's, men have to fight that urge and have to redirect themselves because it's kind of like this just automatic programming that's going on all the time. It's no different. I have to constantly catch myself and redirect myself to be present in each new moment.
Wow. So it sounds like it's a little tough to do.
It's, I don't know if it's tough. It's just part of me figuring out how to reinvent myself to get the more out of life, to get the maximum value out of my experiences that I'm here having with you guys, even in this moment.
Is it something that you've gotten better at through the years?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right?
You only get better through practice. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's key for anything with success, right? Anything with success, as long as we practice it over and over again.
Even, all the books that you read about success or earning money or achievement or business, you can read all those books and you can be the most intellectual person and you could spit out the best words and give the best advice. But if you're not practicing it and you're putting it into play, it will not matter.
Right. And it's, once you become aware of it, you understand it, then okay, I need to make some changes. And so, take an athlete, for example, that knows if I want to run a sub 4-minute mile, they know what they have to do to put the work in. They know they have to practice. They know they have to train, invest the time, and make some sacrifices. Just like anything getting good at, you have to be aware, okay, I need to be fully present in this moment and not let my head go to my response or what I'm thinking about or what I'm doing later in order to achieve those results. And I think personally, based off my short experience in life, that out of the 24 years I've been living, one of the most depressing things is that people know they need to make a change. They know how to get the results. They just don't.
Right?
They understand it. They're aware of it. But whether it's laziness, whether it's a lack of belief, it's just people don't do it.
Knowledge really doesn't help us out too much. I mean, yes, it's important, and we need it to start making a difference, but knowledge is just the start. Knowledge is step one. Step two is putting it into action.
Have you ever heard the statement, knowledge is power?
Yes.
I heard the statement when I was in my early 20s. And it was right around the time I started doing work on myself, and I didn't like the statement. I thought it just fell short for me. And then I started to reinvent that, and I started to say, knowledge plus committed action.
There you go.
Right?
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, knowledge plus committed action, because just having all the knowledge alone is not masterful.
Right.
You could be all-knowing and still not have the experience of being loved and loving and being freed up from stress and being in resistance to the things that that you can't change and all that good stuff. So knowledge is not enough. That's why I tell the kids that a college degree is not enough anymore in these days. You have to do some self-development work so that you can be able to navigate the extraordinary challenges that life throws at you in the 21st century. It's a given now.
That's why I love that. I love that quote too. I know we got to wrap up real quick, but one of my favorite quotes ever is by Emerson, and it comes from a place of being, but it's do the thing and you shall have power. It's not just knowledge is power, because it's one thing to be aware of it, it's another thing to do the thing.
Yeah. So when we get back from the break, let's talk about more how to get us into committed action. You're listening to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina, right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
Hey, Becky, it's EJ and Bill from STV and the Movies. We understand you have an event coming up.
There sure is. We have Silence Under the Stars coming on August 11th here in Hart Park in Hart Hall.
Sounds like fun. What happens?
What happens is we have silent movies in the backyard with a barbecue dinner, a silent auction, and all kinds of fun things to look at and buy.
Where do we get tickets?
You get tickets through friendsofheartpark.org, or you can call 222-9542, and the mansion will help you.
Fantastic. We'll see you at Silence Under the Stars.
Thank you, and I sure will be there.
Great things. Find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed.
Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? That zit is huge. Zit face. Ugly.
And welcome back to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina, right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, where we are talking about success. And joining me in studio today is Bryce Thomas, Bradley Sidenglance. I get the B's mixed up.
Yeah.
The Bryce and Bradley team. I like that.
Nice.
And my lovely co-host, Wendy Amara. We're talking about success, and what does it mean to you?
Yes, and when we went to break, we were talking about committed action, right? You were saying how power really is knowledge plus committed action.
Absolutely.
People
a lot
forget that part.
of people got really excited about the Secret when it first came out.
Right.
And although the Secret's a powerful tool about the universe and
the law of attraction.
Law of attraction and drawing it to you is great. But you can't sit there and be in your car and park saying, okay, a great spot's going to open up for me to be in the front row,
right.
And it's just going to magically, one car is going to disappear, and I get to pull in that spot. You got to circle around a few times. You got to put into action. You have to have the thought. That the thought is so powerful, and its energy, it starts the universe to kind of set up the in motion the space for you to create it. But you forget that you have to actually create it.
And it all starts with belief, because if you don't believe it, it's never going to manifest. And so, we all want certain things out of life, but if you firmly don't believe it, if you're doubting yourself, that realization or that lack of it, is only going to transpire into something not occurring.
Even a little bit of doubt.
Oh yeah, you got to be 100% in. You can't tiptoe around what it is that you want, and that's why I think dreams are so powerful. And what individuals want. We talked about kids. We talked about high schoolers, how great it will be to get a panel of kids in here and say, what's your definition of success? Only the Lord knows what they would say. But I think we get so beat up as individuals, just absolutely beat up, that the belief starts to diminish and decrease the older we get, to the point where you're in your mid-20s and people are like, well, don't get your hopes up. Don't get too excited about
the
it.
economy's bad. You're not going to be able to find a job.
These are the self-limiting beliefs that plague our mindset and our paradigms that get in the way of us being crystal clear about what our intention is. The Dark Knight. Did you watch that this weekend?
I didn't. I don't want to bring it up because I know the world is talking about this, but you know, the incident that happened in Colorado, I just haven't seen it yet.
Well, I decided to go see it just because I wanted to see it. So
right.
And I got to make a statement that I'm not afraid. I'm going to go and take my family, and we went to an 11 o'clock show. That's another story. But we ended up going to watch it, and and I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but there's a place in that movie where Batman or Bruce Wayne has to get himself out of a hole. And he has to climb up a certain ledge.
Literally a hole.
Yeah, he's in a hole, and they put him in a hole, and he has to climb up and get out. And there's a certain section where he keeps jumping, and he keeps missing the ledge. And they have him tied. There's other people in the hole that have him tied by rope to be like a safety net. Right. And he keeps missing it. And there's this wise man down at the bottom that keeps telling him, giving him advice. And the last time that he gives him advice, he tells him, you have to go, there's a hunger, and there's a desire, and there's a place deep down inside that's gonna have you reach a commitment to where you're gonna give it 100% with no doubt. And basically what he was telling him is, you gotta go up with no rope. But if you miss, you're gonna basically die. You're gonna fall to your death. And it was that in that instant moment he decided, okay, I'm doing it. I'm gonna cross the bridge and burn the bridge behind me. There's no going back.
Burn the ships.
Yeah, and what that and it's essential. What it did was, by him going up with no rope, it basically put all doubt out of his mind and it forced him to another level of this. I'm gonna jump, and when I do, I get to hit that level. I get to hit that platform.
There's no other possibility.
That's
failure
right.
is not an option. Completely eliminate the possibility of failure, because failure is death. Then, so that's it. You got to make it happen.
Yeah, you're either gonna, it's do or die at that point.
You know, any time in my life that I've made something really amazing happen has been in situations like that, where I've put my butt on the line, where I've put myself up against something very, very uncomfortable. Like
and no back doors, right?
No back doors.
You shut all the back doors.
Exactly. Shut all the back doors. Either I put a huge amount of money on the line.
You put something at stake.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Even your word sometimes. You can make commitments. You know, this is what I've done before. I've made commitments to people out loud, and by you making them out loud, now people have some. Now you have people to hold you accountable to it.
Right. Because you just said you're going to make it happen.
I'm going to do X.
Even
if
you don't know how.
Exactly.
Even if you don't know how. Like, I've made a workshop that I had. I just set a date, and I said, okay, this is the date of my workshop. Had nothing planned. But because I set a date and I let people know, now guess what? It gets to happen by that date, because I'm starting to invite people.
It has to happen.
Yeah. It has to. There's no other possibility.
Well, what do you think some of the kids or the young adults and or the young adults that are in college or are leaving high school, what do you think their ideas of success is? How do you think they have it wrapped around their mind? And through their perspectives, what do you think that they're thinking success is in today's world?
To be honest, I think so many kids don't even know what their definition of success is, because they're so mixed, they're so confused. You know, sadly, we talked about at the break a little bit what media, social media, all these peer pressures have on elementary school kids. You know, kids are growing up so fast these days, because every publication we read has a girl that's 5'10" and 90 pounds, and you know, there's an athlete with a sports car that, you know, has just gotten in a drug-related incident. You know, all these things that we see, the media pumps out, you know, all this negativity. I think so many kids are accustomed to growing up, especially in California, on the West Coast, where all these material items are almost put up on this pedestal, where if you don't reach that point, you know, that a lot of these kids think, well, I haven't made it, I can't do that. You know, we beat themselves up, where, you know, that's only one component of potentially being successful, but we're so fixated on it that it alters what a child or a teenager or a young adult thinks he or she can do.
Right. My concern is that there is no other conversation happening with them. Like the conversation of what the media is putting out there, which is success is fame, success is getting on TV, success is looking a certain way in terms of beauty. That conversation is so loud and so powerful. It's on the internet, it's on, you know, I don't know what the statistics are now that kids spend time with technology, but it's like a huge part of our day now is spent with technology, as opposed to spent with other people in conversation or in relationship with people. We're in relationship to our technology, our iPhone, our iPad, the internet, our laptops, the TV, all of that stuff happening. So that's a really powerful conversation. And there is no other conversation happening for most kids.
But there could be.
But there could be, absolutely.
Parents could start a new conversation and say, around the dinner table, as you have your kids there, what does success mean to you, son? What does success mean to you, daughter? And open up a discussion and let them start to discover and do some critical thinking. I think that's what's missing in today's world, especially in schools, is where's the critical thinking skills for you to come up with your own conclusions and have your own truths?
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, but I don't know the statistics, but how many families actually sit down for dinner? You know, we go in front of the television, and the average American watches 3 hours of television a day. 15 hours of television during the working week. I can't imagine how much that escalates during the day, but even cut that in half. Spend 7 hours with your family, building your relationships, hanging out with your dad, going to take a walk with your mom, whatever it is. We just don't do that because we're so fixated on technology.
And start a powerful new conversation. Rather than the conversation that's going on with the media and influencing our kids.
Yes. So we're going to get back to this powerful conversation when we get back from break. You're listening to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
Here in the Santa Clarita Valley, we get so little rain. But we have 3 easy ways to save water every day, all year long. 1. Make sure your sprinklers work and don't aim at the sidewalk. You'll save 500 gallons. 2. Don't forget this 25-cent washer to fix leaks and save 600 gallons. 3. Plant things native to our valley and save 750 gallons. It's so easy, even I can do it. But you're the one who can save money and water for our future.
Hey, Zachary.
Ready? Yes.
You looking good? Great.
The odds of a child becoming a professional athlete are 1 in 16,000. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 166. The odds say it's time to listen. To learn the signs of autism, visit autismspeaks.org.
Every parent knows the feeling. You look away, and your child is gone. Imagine if he or she were actually abducted. Sign up at wirelessamberAlerts.org to get free Amber Alert text messages on your cell phone. If you did help an abducted child get home, just imagine what his parents would be feeling. Wireless Amber Alerts. A child is calling for help.
And welcome back to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina, right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. For the past 45 minutes, we've been in an interesting conversation about success. What does success mean to you? And we actually went on the break talking a little bit about the very powerful conversation that the media and technology has its grip on our kids about what is success. And especially, what about the commercials? The commercials are getting more inventive and more funny, and they're designed to hook you and really kind of get in your head and inspire you to think a certain way, especially if they're trying to sell a product.
Right, and it has become a lot like that, and even just social media in general too. You see a lot of your friends posting stuff, that's getting you excited about it, and just coming from my experience. My dad was I would say he was successful in his company. He had a company that, he was a mortgage lender. So, he had, investors and all that stuff. And I had an idea of what success was based on, owning your own company and being influential and having this and that and all these, objects just in your life, the latest car, the latest thing. I was very unclear about that. Success really comes with relationships too, and that was something that was missed out from my dad. Is that he wasn't in the moment, and he wasn't with the family all the time, so we didn't have something like that. So just even watching that got me more clear on what I want in my life and what I want to be successful with, and it helps me kind of go past what the media is portraying to you, which is. You got to be famous. You got to be liked by your friends. You got to have the latest clothes, the latest fashion, just all that stuff. That seems to really keep people down and really enclosed in their environments, and they don't feel good about the things that they've accomplished in their life.
Another thing I'm hearing you say, Bryce, is that you got clear about what really mattered to you.
Right.
And you probably paid some prices for your dad chasing a certain level of success or whatever area of success he was going for. There was some prices being paid, and obviously that was within the family.
Yeah, well, and it happened, but I think it was something that I became aware of that, you know, when I have my family of my own, and I still even have my family right now, to work on those relationships and, you know, follow up with them and, you know, just have those conversations, you know, where we're loving and open with each other. And that's something that I've been working on and that I'm actually very proud of, that I've come to this point where, you know, I have that close relationship, you know, with my mom and my sisters, and even people who wouldn't be considered my direct family, I take them in as my family.
And you know, I want to talk a little bit about the different areas that you can measure success. I want to kind of go over that. So I know we already talked about relationships and family. There's also health, your physical health, your mental health. There's also the finance. I think that's the more popular one that everyone seems to focus on. There's spiritual. You can measure yourself in spiritual.
Yeah.
There's your career. You know, you're spending 45 hours a week on your career. You know, you want to check in with yourself and say, if I'm going to be spend so much time, do I want to be in a place where I feel fulfilled and rewarded, and am I making a difference? And then there's purpose. Is there have you decided what your purpose is?
Right.
Have you realized it?
Yeah.
Have you chosen to have a purpose?
Have you had a conversation with yourself about it? Have you asked yourself?
Is there is purpose important to you? Does it even matter? And I think those are if I know when I first started coaching, I started creating this wheel.
Right, the wheel of life.
That's
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
or
I
the
use it with
balance
my
wheel,
clients too,
right?
or the
Do a
balance
balance
wheel,
wheel
right.
and start to rate yourself at what percentage are you in all different areas, and then that's, as a coach, it got you focused on, okay, what area do you want to spend more time on now?
Right, what area isn't working, because it's a wheel, and the wheel can't turn if there's an area that's at 20% and there's another area that's at 60. Then you've got a lopsided wheel that's
Like
not
a
really
tweaked
going to
spoke,
move.
right? A spoke that's tweaked out.
Right, exactly. That's not really going to move. But I think what's so interesting is when you ask somebody, I bet you if we brought in 10 adults and asked them, what's your definition of success? A lot of what they're going to say has to do with career and finance. I think that's where a lot of people go to. It's the outward success, the outward definition of success. It's how I look to the world. And very few people's definition will be solely based on inner work, like your spiritual success or your relationships. And why does that happen? Why do we automatically go to, well, success equals, you know, influencing a lot of people and living in a certain type of house and, you know, making a certain amount of money, or having certain letters after my last name, because that means I have titles and I've achieved a certain level of instruction and education.
Well, I can shed a little light on that from my own personal experience before doing personal development work. It was because no one taught me. And where do you learn most of your information about life is from your parents. From age
Very
0
true.
to 7, your parents are based on the example that they're leading, the words that they're saying, the things that they're doing, you know, the customs that they're sharing. You're shaping and you're molding your perspective about the way you see the world and the way the world works for you. And so my parents, the way they lived their life, I came up with and created my own belief system that said success meant a certain thing. And to be honest with you, they never really taught me that success came from an inner part. It was never really talked about looking in and checking in and going into your heart. If anything, any part of that portion of my life that spoke into that was going to church and maybe listening to some of the spiritual teachings that kind of taught that. But other than that, we never really did no self-reflection or check in. My parents didn't do that, so I never knew. I just never learned it.
That's why I like the word you said, balance, is because if you look at a diet, you're not going to just eat consistent fruits and vegetables. There's some people who go to the extreme and do that to lose weight drastically, but the word balance, you look at a food pyramid, you know, it shows what percentage of what you should put into your life to have a healthy body. We all know that. We're taught that at a very young age in elementary school. And life is the same way, about being a grateful individual, you know, being truly happy with all components of life. You can't be content with just your finances or content with where you are and focus everything toward one channel that we talked about, you know, or one thing. You know, it's got to be a healthy balance.
That's a great question to be. Right before we go on a break is, what in your balance wheel, where are you off a little bit? What work do you need to bring up the different areas on your balance wheel?
Yes, excellent question, Alex. So we'll continue with this conversation. You're listening to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
Scratch Golf Accelerated, Santa Clarita's unique indoor golf training and fun center. We have great programs for kids and adults of all levels. Rain or shine, we're here to improve your golf game and have fun doing it.
It's great to practice with just the girls at Scratch.
We enjoy playing in the adult league at night. It's a great time.
And they make it so much fun for the kids too.
We love Scratch! Come see us at Scratch.
You chose the Santa Clarita Valley for quality of life, but you also need quality of health. In the last few years, Henry Mayo has dramatically advanced care for our maturing population, introducing life-saving cardiovascular services, achieving an advanced primary stroke center designation, receiving the highest cancer program accreditation, and developing new joint replacement and spine programs. In fact, Henry Mayo is now a Best Los Angeles Regional Hospital. Henry Mayo, helping ensure your quality of life through better quality of health.
Hi, I'm John Dean with Dean Safe Company. For the last 4 decades, the first 10 people I talk to every morning have just been robbed or burglarized. I'm here to help. We have the largest selection of safes on the West Coast. We carry gun safes, pistol safes, burglary safes, fire safes, safes of all types designed for home and office. We will help you protect your valuables from fire and theft. We offer professional, discreet delivery. See it all on our website or give us a call, deansafe.com.
And welcome back to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina, right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. We've been talking about success and what it means to you. Let's wrap it up. Bradley, what are some of the golden jewels that opened up for you during this conversation about success and what it means to you?
Some of the golden jewels that I would say to everybody listening, whether you're a parent or a young adult or a teen, is get clear on what it is that you want out of life. You know, get clear on what you really want to do, what makes you happy, whether it's, serving others in whatever way that may be, whether it's your job, whether it's developing a great relationship with a loved one, with a family, reconnecting a broken relationship. Get clear about your faith, whether you believe in God or whatever it is that you believe in. Get clear about being healthy and understand that once you believe in yourself, that will manifest if you do it. It's one thing to be aware of it. It's another thing to do it. And so as we talked about at the break, for anybody listening, any parent, any young adult that wants some coaching, you're obviously hearing us talk about this. Do something about it. Give us a call, 298-5487. Shoot Alex an email at leadership@hometownstation.com and do something. The balance wheel we talked about, you might have one emphasis on one aspect of your life, which is phenomenal, but let's get into alignment with everything else. So take action.
I would love to get some listeners to come in on the show.
Yeah.
Do some coaching. That'd be great.
Absolutely. This is fabulous work and the results that are going to come from it.
What about for you, Bryce?
One of the things that I take away is get clear on the things you want to accomplish in your life, things that, define your success, define what would make you feel successful, and then take those things, become clear on them, and be, do, and have. So be the person, or be the representation of what you want to accomplish. So if you want your relationships to improve, be there for your family, be more of a loving, compassionate person. By doing that, you're going to have what you're looking for in your life.
And now, does our idea of success change?
Constantly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it should.
It's a constant reinvention.
Exactly.
But you got to start somewhere.
Right.
So, Bryce, you're saying start with something, and as it's like a vision board. You create. I was working with some teenagers from China, did a training last week, and we did some vision board stuff. And for the first time, these kids had never really been talked about a vision, or they didn't know about vision. So we created these vision boards. And once I got them to start to dream and create these vision boards, by the next day, a lot of them wanted to change it. They were like, sir, I want to change my, and I was like, awesome, that's what it's designed for.
Yes.
Right.
Because a lot of times we don't really know what we want until we know what we don't want. And so you got to start somewhere.
That's
Exactly.
right. That's right. Sometimes we don't know what we want until we sit in the question for a little while. So sometimes it takes a while for us to be asking ourselves the question.
That's the powerful part of that.
And then we've never been told we can have it. We've never been told, instead of, yeah, you can do this, it's don't get your hopes up. Or, well, you might want to be careful. Don't do that. Maybe settle with this. So don't settle. Go aspire to have what you want. So I think that's very empowering once people reach that point in their life.
Awesome. What are some of the takeaways that we discovered in this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So takeaways from today's conversation on success. One is, what I'm hearing you guys all say is define what success is for you. So ask yourself, how do I define success? What is success? Is it financial success? In the different areas of your life also, define what success is for you. Secondly, I think this is really important that we talked about earlier, knowledge plus committed action is what equals power or success. So it's not just the knowledge isn't enough. It's committed action that really makes the difference. Another key component to what we talked about today is close your back doors. So other possibilities besides actually making your goal happen, close all those other possibilities. So the only possibility left is to move forward on your goal and make it happen. And lastly, what Bradley was talking about in terms of the wheel of life, take out a wheel, like draw a wheel on a piece of paper and cut it up into little pie sections. There's a couple of different sections. One is relationships and family. The other one is health and physical being. The other one is financial, your financial life. The fourth is spiritual. The fifth is career. And then the sixth is your purpose, your purpose in life. Cut it up into these 6 different sections, kind of like you're cutting up pieces of a pie. And go around that circle and ask yourself, from 0 to 100%, where am I right now in this area of my life? Am I at 50%? Am I at 100% in terms of how successful you feel in that area?
And be honest about it too. A lot of people don't. A lot of people will throw 90, 98, 95s. Be honest. Sit down and just kind of have a reckoning with yourself and say, all right, honestly, I'm probably at about a 70%. I can use some more learning and growth in this area.
Absolutely. It's kind of like taking inventory of your life. Yeah, take inventory of your life. And then share with us what the result is of that. What opened up for you? What did you learn? Maybe there's a certain area that you hadn't even thought about ever, and you're realizing, oh my God, that's at 20% or that's at 30%. Or maybe there's another area that's actually at 80 or 90% and you hadn't even thought about that. So share with us what opened up as a new possibility. We'd love to have you in the studio and do some coaching or do some coaching over the phone. So definitely you get to call us and let us know what's going on. You can email Alex at leadership@hometownstation.com. You can listen to the podcast over and over again of the show, and you can call us at 661-298-KHTS or 661-298-5487. We'd love to hear what opened up for you and what your definition of success is.
Hey, I want to thank you guys for being here and being of service and being a contribution. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure as always.
All right. Well, we're here every Monday from 1 to 2 p.m. Thanks for joining us on Life Leadership with Alex Urbina.